Hey there, folks. I want to welcome you here today to a special GCN update. I appreciate everybody taking the time to come out and join us. I've got straight up 2 o'clock my time, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I definitely want to take just a couple introductions. I will tell you this is going to be a quick meeting. We're going to be in and out. So I know previously I've been able to answer like a ton of questions. I don't know if I'll be able to answer all of them. We'll do our best, but my goal is to get you out of here. But let's go on and take some introductions. We got Dave from Vegas. We got Mark from London, Ontario. Mike from Milwaukee. Brent from Michigan. Let's see here. Dr. Jesse from Michigan. We got, I think that was Edgardo from Vegas. Wow, these things are flying in here. Gary from North Carolina. We've got Bob from Florida. Barlos from Colombia. Mark from Canada. Nimi from Canada. We got Barry from Chicago. Jan from Denmark. Craig from, I think you're from New York, Craig. We got Hank from Dallas. Mark from Indiana. Joel from Texas. Barry from Chicago. We got the UK in the house. Chris from Milwaukee. Trevor from Texas. Thomas from Glenwood Springs, Colorado. Marila from Vegas. Aloha from Kauai. Lee, welcome. Paul from Canada. Mario from Cleveland. Let's see here. Igal from San Antonio. All right, we've got Dean from Oregon. Let's see here, man, we are blowing up here. Shane from Michigan, I think. We got Jesper from Denmark. Welcome. So, man, we have a packed call already. So it's 2:02. I'm going to go on and get this thing started here so we can get you out of here in the next 20 minutes, give you a good update on exactly where things are at so you have complete clarity on where we are at as a company. Now, on the email that I sent out to you, I outlined a few of the things that we're going to go over. I'm going to try to stick to that outline to tell you exactly where things are at. So, as I said, you can begin to share this with your team. You can get it out there. But very excited about where things are right this second and obviously where we're going. As I've said every single time, I mean, man, I'm tired of doing these calls. I'm ready to do the calls where we're talking about new things that are here, the excitement of what's going on. A couple announcements before I get into that specific list. Number one, we have a GOW coming tonight. I know it's been a few days. So we do have a GOW. It's going to be Portland versus Washington in the NBA. I'm just waiting on the final spread. So we'll be sending that email out as well. I don't know how many of you all play the GOW, but we're definitely going to be releasing that tonight. So keep that in mind. Again, an email will be coming on that. So let me go over here, to the email and talk just a little bit about some of the things that we discussed on that email and exactly what they mean to you. Because, there's so many people that have come in, either they haven't been able to make it. We've been getting a bunch of emails like, hey, I wasn't able to make it to the webinar or, whatever it is. I don't have time to watch the recording. So we're going to continue to kind of push on some of these things that we've already talked about. So there's complete clarity. So when things are 100% ready to rock and roll, there's no questions that are out there. We can just hit the ground running and go very smoothly, okay? Number one, I want to talk about retro payments. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because we've talked about that in the past. We won't be retro paying any of the commissions as far as the cab bonuses or things like that. That's the most common question that we get. With the GOWs, if there are payments that are due on GOWs, those will come as soon as the payment rolls come out as well. We have done some of those manually, but they're tied directly into our payment system, which truly it just causes us a lot of issues. If we're doing manual payments and we have to run the automatic payments as well, once the payment system's right there, it causes some issues and it causes more manual stuff. So just know that's coming very quickly, okay? So, Robert, I'll answer that question here really quickly because I know, here's the deal. I know I'm going to get thrown a lot of questions. I'm not going to stop and answer all of them. But, Robert's asking a question. He only asked it to me, but that probably means some of you are thinking it. So rather than just hiding behind here and not answering the tough questions, I'd rather answer it. Robert says, so who will be getting all the Bitcoin that's been earned over the last 6 weeks that's not been paid? Well, here's the deal, Robert. There's no Bitcoin that's been earned over the last 6 weeks to pay to you in regards to that. So we've paid it out. If you've checked out any of the previous webinars, you probably know exactly where we're at from a deficit standpoint. We've talked very intensely about the debt that was out there and everything like that. There's some people that don't completely understand the new payout and things like that. So you may not be one of those, but I wanted to stop and address it. So it ties directly into retro pay. That's why I stopped because, again, I know those are some of those questions. sometimes we're on here that, and people are just like, they don't want to ask the questions. Richard, yeah, binary pay, fast start pay, things like that. Those are things that will be definitely included. Okay, Chuck, the malware's already been removed from the website. So hold up with the questions for just a second, y'all, in the comments. I will get to it, but like I said, I only got a specific amount of time, so I definitely want to address all these. But I want to get through this really quickly and get everyone what they really want, and then we'll, if I have time, I will answer some of these questions as well. But as far as the malware, just clear your cookies or your cache, and you'll see that that's gone. I don't know how many of y'all saw it, but when you would go to the main website, you would get that red thing that said, "Hey, this is a dangerous site." That usually comes from the script not being 100% correct or whatever it is. They found the problem, they fixed it within about 36 hours, maybe not even that long, 24 to 36 hours, but it's been fixed. So just clear your cookies or your cache and you will be able to see that. But back to it, okay, back to the list that we're on track here. And then, like I said, I'll try my best to answer some of those questions as to where we're going, okay? The retro payments, as I said, that we're not going to be retro paying anything for many different reasons that we've already discussed. I just want you to have clarity when you talk to people that that's not happening. But starting as soon as the payments are live going forward, the key thing is not to have to look back and not to have to start over, right? And there's some major things that had to happen in order for those pieces to fall into place, or we feel 100% certain that, hey, we're never going to have to look back and we can just move forward. There had to be certain things that are in place. Number one, we had to make sure that everything was up to date on the software. I'm really proud of our programming team. I have to give it to them. They've done a phenomenal job. There were many things inside of our system that, you may or may not even experience, that you didn't even know that have been definitely updated. So I'm excited about that. To take it even a step further, if you saw in the email, we've actually added to our team. Many of you know we worked with D. Golden and Associates from a consulting standpoint. The auction software, those things like that, they actually developed that side of our business. So we've been able to bring them in to assist us with some of the other programming side of it as well, to help us get to exactly where we want to go and make sure that we're good going forward. Now, their specialty is really like on the merchant side of things, but they also do design different things. And one of the things that they assisted us with is the auctions and making sure that our system's going forward. So that part of enhancing our technical team, been very excited about that over the last few days. And I'm really, the most important thing for me is just making sure that as we go forward here as a company, that you don't become customer support, I don't become customer support, that we can build our business, work our business, and move forward. And that is just the key to it. So that is one thing that we've definitely been doing. Another thing I want to talk about was the announcement of the new president. Last week when we came out and I had this conversation, number one, we thought things would be done a little bit sooner, but number two, I thought that I would be announcing a president a lot sooner than I had. There's a few things, just like with the system not being able to look back, like just look forward, that had it to be done. Number one, we have to make sure that the system's where it needs to be. Number two, we have to make sure that the capital, all the capital that we need is secured. So we don't have to look back and say, hey, we're back in the same situation where we're working out of things. We don't want to do any of that, right? We want to make sure things are 100% so you can have the confidence going forward. Now, the exciting part is this, right? The system and the assistance that we've been able to receive with the system, getting it to where it needs to be, we're there, right? We are so close to like just flicking the switch. So that part is exciting. The capital side of it as well, making sure that we don't bring a president into a situation where they're having to deal with all the issues of the past. When I bring someone in, I want them to be able to focus on the future, right? Not put out the fires from the past. So those are the things that we've been working on to make sure that, hey, as soon as we flip this switch, we can announce the new president and we can move forward 0 to 60 very quickly and get this thing out there. Because I know many of you, I'm looking at this call here today. Let me see here. Let me look at these numbers. This is probably the third largest call we've ever had inside of our system. It's 3 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon, to put that in perspective. So what that tells me is that people are still here, right? People want to know what's going on. They want to understand, and they more importantly, y'all want it to work, right? You want this to work just as much as I want it to work. We all need it to work. The industry needs it to work. So that's what we're doing here. I've had many of you say, look, James, I don't care if it takes you a couple days or a couple weeks. I just want it fixed. And then we have the people that aren't really paying attention to what's going on. It's like, hey, I haven't been paid. What's been going on? So there's a small percentage of our entire population that actually shows up to these webinars. And then there's an even smaller part that truly pay attention to the words that come out. Some of that's from a language barrier. Some of it's just because people have, you're on Facebook right now, or you're on Twitter, or whatever you're doing, you're not actually paying attention. So, this is why I've been out in front of y'all so much, because I want to make sure that we just pound this message that, hey, we're here, we're in front of you, we're continuing to do what we say we're going to do. And more importantly, we're building a much stronger foundation than we've ever had. From a system standpoint, from an internal infrastructure standpoint, from a capital standpoint, all those things that are required for a business to be successful in this industry, that's what we've been putting together over the last, I guess it's been a week now, a little bit over a week. So we're continuing to work on that to make sure things are where they need to be. So what is it right now? I mean, that's the big question. Where are we at right this very second? When are we moving forward? And the answer is this. We're going to have to continue to keep you updated on that. I can tell you this from a system standpoint. I would say that we are pretty much right exactly where we need to be. There's a little bit of testing that we're still doing with the pro membership, making sure that that's correct. Many of you, if you haven't logged into your back office, what we've actually done is move the pro membership date to 3/15. Okay, so maybe some of you have seen that. If someone signs up a new member right now, or a new retail customer, it actually changes that date to 30 days out. That's exactly the way that it's supposed to work, but it's supposed to be on retail instead of just affiliate. So there's some of those little tweaks that we're still operating on, and making sure that every I is dotted and every T is crossed, so we can move forward there. So with that being said, in order to prepare for this, that was the last thing I put on the email. What can you be doing right this very second? I think the number one thing is this. I know many of you, maybe not many of you, but several of you probably rely on income from GCN to help you with your bills, your family. Some of you don't, and some of you, aren't even paying attention. Okay, so the bottom line is this. I said this in the call, I think yesterday or the day before. I think it was the day before. I know that this is challenging. I know it's frustrating, and I know that a lot of you are having to take a lot of heat, especially if you referred a lot of people to our company, and that's not fair to you. I get that. I truly do, and I take responsibility for that. At the same time, I've been out in front of you from the very beginning. I've probably been way more transparent than even maybe I should be, because I want you guys to know exactly what's going on, right? I don't want to just come out here and just, throw a bunch of crap at you, a bunch of words, and it be the same thing over and over, and it not have any clarity or any meaning. So when I come out here today, it's to educate you and the new people that are here for the very first time, that are paying attention, people that are continuing to watch you so they can see a congruent message on a constant basis. But more importantly, I want to talk about the excitement of where we're going as a company, because that's the key thing, right? Where the system is at, where it was, where it's at today, night and day. Excited about it. Excited about the team that we've been able to surround ourselves with. Excited about the infrastructure that we're rolling out, and the new president that we're going to be introducing to help take it to the next level. The new products that we've already talked about going forward, and the products that we currently have that are phenomenal. All that is great. All of it's a conversation. The only thing that needs to happen right now is for the payments to run, for us to have consistency, and get this thing rocking and rolling again. So that's where we're headed. I can't give you an exact time. I would love to sit here and say, hey, tonight it's going to happen. But here's what I am going to tell you. I want this. I promise you, I want it just as bad as each and every one of you, maybe more than a lot of you, because I can see the vision past the nonsense that we're going on through right now, the struggles that we're going through right now. I can see way past that. I can't sit here and focus. I have a lot of people saying, oh, James, how you doing, man? How you mentally hanging in there physically? How's it going for you? You must be getting hammered. Not real. I mean, I am, right? But for me, like, I can see past like where we're at to where we're going. I don't get caught up on today. I get caught up on where we're taking this company, because that's how much I believe in it. If I didn't believe in it, I've said this many times, I sure wouldn't be out here in front of you, right? I sure wouldn't be in front of you as often as I am giving the same message over and over. So with that being said, look, we're 14 minutes into this. My goal is to get out of here in 20 minutes because I have some other stuff I have to take care of. So I'm going to read through some of these questions. I'm going to answer them, whether they're good, whether they're bad. It doesn't matter if you guys haven't figured that out. I'm going to address it either way. So I know some of you are going to want to hammer me, which is cool. Robert's saying, oh my God, more delays, keeping out of payments. It's totally wrong. And your investors, you're using the Bitcoin. We are keeping the wrong delays, trust zero, being blunt with everyone I talk to. Okay, so Robert, first of all, I understand where you're coming from. I do, and I get your frustration 100%. I think a lot of people probably feel the same way you do. There's a couple things I want to mention about your comment. Number one, we don't take investors. We never have. So that the investor word, you probably just need to take it out. We do have customers, right? And we do have members, but we don't have investors. So when I look at this, I don't sit here and say, oh, someone invested their money or anything like that, because we don't deal with that. As far as the payments, yeah, it's obviously, just as I'm saying, it's frustrating to everybody, including yourself. So I 100% get it. All right, I'm going to move on to the next one. Where can we read in writing exactly how the pay will work once you have a system live again? I'm confused and prefer not to answer downline's questions. So I see David actually put the comp plan right there. That's the best place to get exactly how the comp plan works. We can also do some comp plan trainings. That's no problem at all. Let's see here. Neil's saying, are you saying you've not done wagers with ST package funds since you shut down the daily cab? So look, Neil, we can only pay out a cab if we have the profits in order to be able to do that. So when we don't have trading going on or wagering from a sports, or we don't have the auctions where we need them to be, or the profitability of the company, the cab can't pay out anyway, right? So we've been very clear that cab can go anywhere from 0%, literally 0% if there's not profitability, all the way up to 2% if there's a lot of profitability. So as the cab has been stopped and the payments have been halted for this period of time, yeah, we have everything halted, right? We have to get our system exactly where it needs to be in order for us to do that. But it takes it just like that to snap things right back to reality. So that part is not a problem. Are the experts still giving us GOW picks, or are they hold until payment systems go live? So the GOWs are still there. We still been putting our picks out there. Alan, you might have jumped on here a little bit late, but we do have a GOW coming today. It's Portland versus Washington in the NBA. Just waiting on the exact line on that, or the spread, to be able to share that. So you have an email coming out on that. But no, we're still definitely working with the handicappers. We're still putting our picks out there. So just continue to look for those. For those of you who wager on your own, you can absolutely still use those. I mean, they're still phenomenal. I mean, take a look at what we're doing. We're crushing it. Just got the numbers. Our overall, just so you all know, just kind of give you a little tip here. Our overall GOWs, like since we started this company, are almost at 66%. In the last 25, they're at 72%. Okay, so you will not, at least I don't know, I don't think you're going to find those type of numbers anywhere that are documented, and we put it right there in front of you. You can't fake that stuff. It's phenomenal. So I know people are excited about the GOW, so we've got more coming for sure. Let's see here. Okay, cool. Jumped in a little bit late. Alan, you're definitely welcome. Okay, so here's a question about pending balances, right? So basically, if you have pending balances showing on your account, what we're going to do as soon as the system goes live, we will run the commissions again. Okay, whatever your pending commissions change to, that will be the balance that you are owed at that point in time. Okay, so we will be running the commissions. Whatever's in that available balance will be there as well. Now, there's a couple things that you guys need to understand, and I can't get completely technically into the details, but the bottom line is a lot of the accounts that thought that they were being affected, that thought that they had stuff taken away from them, they actually didn't, okay? It was just the way that the programmers did it. And what I mean by that is that you guys know 50% goes to the binary, 50% goes to the person in our compensation plan. Well, what we were doing is if it didn't get to 0.01, up until 0.01, we weren't taking the 50%. Once it got to the 0.01, then we took the 50%. So it made people automatically think, oh my gosh, I was supposed to get a payment and now they take money from me. It's not right. It wasn't that the math wasn't right. It's that the way that we had it programmed in the system, it gave you a false sense of hope as far as that's concerned. So just know that, yeah, balances that are there are going to be included in the run that we do. So whatever the commission run is on top of that, that's what you're going to see once we get this thing going. Okay, let's see here. Okay, here's a question just about the auctions. Like, when can you expect for auctions to be shipped? One thing that I just told you, we are working with the company that created our auction system to not just run the system, to help us with all aspects of that. So, making sure that things are linked up faster, going better. We've talked about this. We've got to get better. We've needed to get better on the shipping side of our products. Some of that, I don't want to make excuses. Some of it was because of the companies we were dealing with. We were having challenges with that. They kept shutting down our orders and refunding our orders and things like that because of the credit cards we were using. That's just a reason. That's just an excuse. It doesn't help you, right? So the bottom line is we know that we got to get better at that, and that's definitely going to be doing it. David, I appreciate that. 66% is unbelievable, and it's all documented, right? I mean, you guys see it. We can't fake that stuff. We put it out there every single time before the game goes. Our overall actual percentage, just like our overall, like if you take the GOWs out of it and you just look at our games, we're at 61%. So we've done pretty dang good. All right, let's see here. Can you project the time and day to start payments? I can't. What I can tell you is this. We're on the verge here. As soon as we can pull the trigger, we're going to pull it. So if it's tonight, it'll be tonight. If it's tomorrow, but the one thing I promise you is this: I'm going to continue to be in front of you. I'm going to continue to update you. We're going to continue to send the emails out and be there. And as soon as we get things exactly where they need to be on those components that I talked about, the system 100%, the capital 100%, and everything 100%, so we can run these payments and go forward. From that point, we're good to go. We cannot afford, and I'm sure most of you, or at least I think most of you would agree, it would be really silly for me and us as a company to make a decision to just say, hey, for the sake of calming everybody down, let's just run it tonight and see how it goes for a couple days. And, that would be silly, right? We need to make sure that we can run it for, a good amount of time here and have some consistency, because I know people are excited about what's going on. I know we have some people lined up that are ready to roll with us, but there has to be some consistency out there. Okay. So, all right. Any other questions? I'm going to answer one more question. If there's one more question that needs to be answered, Mark, you're definitely welcome. Wow. Here comes a bunch of stuff. Okay, so here's a question about the cab bonus or the pro membership. Okay, so this is probably a good one to end with. Everybody that qualified for the pro membership, well, number one, congratulations. Obviously, that's good for you. We moved everyone's date to the 15th. Okay, so like it was at 2/15, February 15th. We've moved it to March 15th. So that means you have even more time to qualify. If you go in there today, and let's say that you made a retail sale today, your date's going to change from 3/15 to April 4th, right? Or April 5th, whatever the 30 days is, it's going to change to that in the system. So we have programmed that. That's one of the biggest things that we had to do properly. Like I said, right now, we're just making sure that it's based on retail and not just affiliate, and making sure that system works 100%, but very excited about that. All right. Any other, let me see here if I can answer one more before I go. Barry's like, hey, will payments start within the week? Is that safe to say? Barry, I would love to, obviously you just asked that to me, you didn't ask it to the crew, but I think that's what everybody's thinking. My answer wants to be yes. I don't want to overpromise and underachieve. What I'm going to say is this: I'm going to continue to keep you updated. That's the best that I can do with that. I know you guys want a definite answer, and I want to give you a definite answer, but you have to understand, I'm a live video here, right? And whatever I say is going to be scrutinized to the fullest. So if I come out here and say, hey, it's going to be tonight, it's going to be tomorrow, and it's not, that's going to cause us and our company a lot more pain than me being straight up with you and saying, look, as soon as it's ready, we're going to pull the switch. If it's tonight, it's going to happen. If it's tomorrow, it's going to happen. That's a lot easier for me to work with. And trust me, it's a lot easier for you to work with as well. Okay. So with that being said, look, it's 25 minutes. I said I was only going to keep you 24 minutes or 20 minutes. I appreciate everybody taking the time to come out here today, get your questions answered. Let's see here. James, can you do another pay for upgrade to 2-level special? Well, Mark, let's do this, man. Let's get the system back to where it needs to be, and then we can possibly do some promotions. I'll do this for today, though. Anyone who purchases credits today, I will give you a 100% match. We can keep that going. We want to reward the people that are still true to us. We do have a GOW coming tonight. So if you don't have any credits, you want to add some of those up, we will give 100% credit match tonight. I'll let the support team know that. So anyone that purchases credits today will give you 100% match. You purchase 100 credits, we'll give you 200. It's a great thing. So listen, I appreciate everybody's patience with us. I know some of you want to just tear me to pieces and you're mad about what's going on. And I know it affects you. It affects your family. It affects my family. It affects all of us, right? Not a great situation that we're in. But if you can see past where we're at today to where we're going, and you can have the faith in our company, I still wholeheartedly believe in every single product and service that we offer. And I know where we're headed. So I appreciate your patience during this. Stay in touch with the emails, Telegram. If you're not subscribed to that, please subscribe to it. Be on the lookout for an email today for the GOW. We've been doing great with those. Hopefully that will continue here tonight. I hope you guys have a great day, and I appreciate your time.